If you've got mental health issues, look in the gut. Maybe even look in the gut before you look in the brain. Now, obviously, we're going to be doing organic acids testing and other things to look at neurotransmitters. So we're going to check out dopamine, serotonin. We're going to look at what's called quinolinic acid. So we can look for actually brain inflammation or brain toxicity related
Correct.
to gut infections. Like sometimes Clostridia, we'll see will drive up the quinolinic acid markers, but we still have to fix the gut. So if you have a family member, they're anxious, they're depressed, they're fatigued, we've seen a massive link between chronic fatigue and gut infection. So there's another big one that people may not recognize. The gastro doc may not suggest your chronic fatigue is from a gut infection, but it certainly can be. Skin issues as well. My skin was a wreck years ago. I had major acne, even though my diet was clean. It was my gut.
Totally. I also want to highlight one other kind of variable here. I think it's really important. I'm going to pull this on screen here. I think this is really interesting. So interesting abstract here, and it's looking at the influences on the gut microbiome on inflammation and insulin resistance. So this is interesting because we talk about insulin resistance, right? Consuming too much carbohydrate and refined sugar. All carbohydrate gets broken down typically into glucose, fructose, or a combination of the two, right? And so the more sugar that gets released into our bloodstream that gets broken down, whether from refined sugar, sucrose, which is fructose in glucose, high fructose corn syrup is fructose in glucose, 55, 45 concentrations. And then, of course, we have starches, which get primarily broken down into glucose. And then we have fruit, which is more on the fructose side. These things all have an impact on our blood sugar. And the more insulin resistant we become, it drives inflammation. It's hard to utilize these fuel sources, and these fuel sources get deposited in our fat because our muscles don't have the ability to store it. Our liver loses the ability to store it. We don't have the activity level. We don't have the mitochondria stimulation to burn it, so we store it as fat. Now, this article is interesting. It talks about obesity is the main condition that's correlated with the appearance of insulin resistance. Think of this is when your cells get numb to insulin. Now, this is on screen here. People that are looking on the audio version, we'll put the link below for the whole video. Whole bacteria, their byproducts and metabolites undergo increased translocation through the gut epithelium. Let me give you the translation on that. Here's your gut. Leaky gut happens, right? It's where it talks about gut permeability, and things start to translocate, meaning move from the inside of the gut back into the bloodstream. Right? So it translocates through the gut epithelium into circulation due to the degradation of tight junctions. This is leaky gut right here. And it increases intestinal permeability that culminates in inflammation and insulin resistance. So what's this saying is the inflammation caused by gut permeability, caused by lack of enzymes, acids, bile, food allergens, all the gut microbiome issues can actually drive inflammation and insulin resistance. Now it makes it harder for your mitochondria to generate fuel, because you're not able to get that fuel into your cell, and you start to become more of a sugar burner. It's very difficult to burn fat when you have high levels of insulin. Very, very difficult. So several strategies focusing on modulation of the gut microbiome using antibiotics. Again, we would use antimicrobial herbs, probiotics, and prebiotic fibers are being experimentally used to in order to reduce intestinal permeability, increase the production of short-chain fatty acids. Guess what? Things like butter, butyric acid, medium chain triglycerides, those are all very helpful. And again, this helps promote insulin sensitivity and counteracts the inflammation. So really, really important here, this study, influence of gut microbiome on subclinical inflammation here. And this is a 2013 study. So we've known this stuff out for a long time here, that the gut microbiome plays a major role on your blood sugar handling. And if you're a diabetic or someone with insulin problems, you need to be looking at the gut. Yeah, look at the diet. Look at, getting your diet and your macros in order. Make sure your food quality is good. And then look at really getting the microbiome dialed in to really help that. That could be a missing piece of the puzzle for people that have really changed their diet, but not quite gotten the metabolic benefits of losing weight yet.
Wow, that's a good point.